It's a new trading week and a new record high for the Nasdaq. We are seeing oil prices higher today, and as a result, the energy sector gain. Joining me now is Peter Cardillo of First Standard Financial. Peter, great to have you here today.
Good to be back.
Well, of course, the big story here today is oil. We're seeing Brent and WTI prices higher, and this does come on the heels of the joint statement from the energy ministers of Saudi Arabia and Russia. So what do you make of this?
Well, that was no surprise to me. I expected something like that to happen. But I do admit that the extension of going into the first quarter of 2008 was a bit of a surprise, which means that they're really extending it for another 9 months. And I think that, basically indicates the real willingness of OPEC members to get the prices higher. And I think that, the market now will begin to focus more on the supply side of the market and not so much on the weekly inventories that seem to have been a problem for the market over the past 6 months or so. So I kind of think we're on our way to higher prices. I think, we'll settle somewhere between 50 and 55, and then perhaps in the third quarter or possibly the fourth quarter, move our way back up to that $60 range.
Well, Peter, now that we've covered this oil story, we are seeing this rotation given the gains in energy today. But at the same time, we have a lot of geopolitical concerns going on across the globe. And we also had the cyber attack at the end of last week. So what's your focus this week?
Yeah, I'm surprised that the cyber attack didn't have any effect on NASDAQ. It's making a new record high here. As far as the geopolitical problems, another surprise there. I mean, look, we had North Korea successfully launching another missile, and the market ignored that. But I think that someday these geopolitical and domestic political problems will take the wind out of this market.
And given that we aren't seeing much of a reaction to geopolitical events, one thing we have been noticing is low volatility and the flattening of the yield curve. So as we head into this week, we'll be getting housing figures, industrial production, and there'll be a focus on retail earnings, given retail sales figures at the end of last week. So what will you be watching?
Yeah, we'll be looking at the housing sector very carefully. And in fact, the housing index was released this morning, and it went to 70, just in line with what we were looking for, and obviously another sign that the housing sector remains quite strong. We were a little disappointed with the Empire State Index dropping, actually going into the minus territory from April, but I think that could be temporary, part of the weakness that we saw in the first 3 months of the year.
Okay, Peter. Well, we have a lot to look forward to this week, so thank you for joining me at the beginning of the week, and have a good week.
Thank you.